magic makers, and welcome back to the Metaphysical Apothecary. We are your hosts, Megan and Shannon. We are also known as the Scorpio Sisters, and we are here to explore the mysterious, magical, and the arcane.
Magic is a highly customizable path, and witchcraft in particular can be so personal and a personal development that being able to sit down with yourself and try to understand just how you feel or think about a particular type of magic, the theory or signs that we're presenting to you or you're found somewhere else, and what that means for you and how that changes or does not change how you practice, can make things so much more unique to you.
And taking the time to do that, because we are all made of sound and light, we all vibrate at a slightly different frequency. Otherwise, we would still be formless balls of energy that kind of just pass through each other. But because we perceive ourselves as solid, we all vibrate at a slightly different frequency. And the more unique or custom your magical practice is, the more closely aligned to your personal frequency it's going to be, and the more powerful it is going to get.
Well said.
Thank you.
So let's move on to entanglement theory.
Yay! This is fun. Entanglement theory is the idea that there is an invisible link among all of the particles in the universe. Everything is connected to everything else all the time, no matter what. And this has been illustrated as part of an experiment called the twin photon experiment. And this has been done a couple of different times at the CERN Hadron Collider in Geneva. I am uncertain what year it is, but there is a link in the resources that talks about this. But what the twin photon experiment is, in the simplest terms, is they took a single photon and they split it so that it became two photons, and they separated these two photons. The hypothesis was that if one photon was excited or stimulated in some way, that the other photon would also react to the stimulus. And one of the questions they had was, how long is it going to take for the stimulus to pass through whatever connection they may have to affect the other photon? So they stimulate one photon and they discover that the other one reacts at the same time. There is no delay, it's instantaneous. So despite the fact that physically this photon had been split apart and separated, there was a link between them still. And this link is what is called entanglement theory. It's also been referred to as the divine matrix, which may be something that a lot of us are a little bit more familiar with, that we're all connected by invisible threads, basically.
And to reflect on that, a magical concept that, again, is centuries old, if not older than that, is the law of contagion. And it's the understanding that two objects or two people who have formed a magical, emotional, spiritual, physical connection or magical link are linked enough energy behind them. They will form a magical link that keeps them together even when they are a great distance apart, until they purposely cut that link or sever that link till the cords are cut, if you will. A good example of this is if a mother instinctively knows her child is in danger and knows it long before an official announcement is made, whether it's through an official coming to them, letting them know, or calling them, or the child themselves calling for help. The mother is entangled with that child, that being, a magical power, love in this case, and she automatically knows based off of her own frequency vibrating at the same frequency that has stimulated her child. This is also happens when trauma is involved. Tantric magic can fall under the law of contagion when two consensual adults have a tantric relationship. They create cords with each other until those cords are intentionally severed by one or the other. Usually Reiki masters do a lot of cord cutting for you so that way you can start the process of releasing that energy that you had formed unintentionally or that you just need help getting through. Other ways to do it is through forgiving, whether it's forgiving the situation, forgiving the person that hurt you, or indifference, meaning forgiving yourself for getting into that situation and becoming indifferent towards whatever had caused you pain or harm, person, place, or thing. And forgiveness is a easy way of cutting cords, but is not in any way, shape, or form simple. There's a lot of work involved, a lot of shadow work involved, but the law of contagion will hold that energy link between you and someone else or something else or some place else, some time else, until you have intentionally cut that cord because of entanglement theory. A piece of you is still connected to a piece of that. And a piece of that is still connected to a piece of you, and you will vibrate at the same frequency, even if it's light years away in the past, whenever, wherever it is.
Right. And these entanglements between people can manifest in a couple of ways. There can be the physical connection. Shannon listed them off earlier, but the physical connection is most often between family members. And then there's the vibrational connection that we form between us and people with whom we align our energy. And sometimes we align our energy in a toxic way. Sometimes we align it in an amazing way, like when I began aligning my energy with that of my wife or Shannon's when we started, becoming friends. But toxic vibrational alignments can also be formed, and we need to be aware of that. So this is where we can go back to manifestation and see that all of these concepts are entangled.
Unintended.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, pun very intended. All of these concepts are entangled, and when we start to feel that bitterness or that resentment or that anger toward the person with whom we need to cut ties, we can sit down and look at that emotion and say, this is visiting me because my vibration is still linked with that person's. How can I cut the cord? There are so many rituals for doing this. There's so many different ways to accomplish that, but we have to remember that the intention that we put into this is what is going to drive our frequency and do us the most good. So you can cut all the black or red or white cords in the best circles every day for a year with the proper bowline and the right crystals and everything, but unless your intention is aligned to forgiveness, indifference, or truly wanting to sever that tie, because sometimes we enjoy the resentment, makes us feel good about ourselves. Like, I've been there. No shame on anyone who feels that way, because we all do it. Unless that intention is there, it's not going to work.
So this is the end of our podcast on the holographic universe. I hope that we were able to give you enough information to pique your interest, allow you to go and explore on your own to figure out whether or not sympathetic magic resonates with you, or how entanglement, the law of contagion, may work in your practice and in your life, and how will you customize your path in the future, if at all. Visit us at our Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, blog, or comment here on whatever podcast application you happen to be listening to at this point in time. Let us know what you think, where you stand on things, what you feel the most entangled with at this particular moment. Until next time, we will be back on the 17th with another interesting podcast. Have a magical time.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. That's all we have on the topic for today. Thank you so much for listening in, and we hope you'll join us again next time. In the meantime, you can follow us on our blog for some more witchy wisdom, as well as check out some of our original art on Society 6 for sacred decor and more. Thank you again for joining us, and go make some magic and live your best life. Bye.
Bye, everyone.